Aloha and welcome to the final Solar Coaster Live Series North America Smart Energy Week Solar Power International 2020 show. We're here. Jason Bearcard is here. What's up, Jay? How are you, friend?
Don't use the word final. We are going to be doing more stuff pretty much every day. I do appreciate you pushing this one off into the afternoon just a little bit because you get awake, Jay, which is much better than 3 o'clock in the morning, Jay.
For those of you that may not be aware, Jason, despite his background, which looks like South Maui, is presently in Osaka. So thank you, Jay, for riding the time wave differentials as we were interviewing people all around the world for the show. So we want to talk a little bit about some of the shows that we did. It was a lot of fun. It was really cool to jump into this 5-minute format, to jump into the video format, to be able to be a part of SPI in this new way. What were some of your favorite shows?
Right away, the Osaka thing is really, really interesting to me. If their tech pans out the way they say it works and their interface is as slick as it is, I think they're going to own a significant piece of the market very, very quickly.
If you hadn't seen that show, check it out on SPI, the Solar Coaster Live drop-down menu, also on our YouTube channel. You can check it out there. But we're talking about a one-stop solution with dual EV charging, with the first ever home supercharger for your EV with full bidirectionality. I want to say it's 7,600 watts. That means bidirectionality, by the way. That's a term, but that means you're able to discharge your electric vehicle to support your home, aka V to H, and I guess in a more sophisticated scenario, aka V to G, if you want to take advantage of that battery and support the grid in some way. Osaka is pretty rock and roll. It's the first product we've seen with that technology all bundled into one. And of course, Mark announced the Essentials product, which was $1,500 for
$1,500, he said.
Yeah, so keep your eyes out for that. That product will be available soon. I also want to say thanks to our other sponsors. Osaka was a sponsor of the show this season. We had Enduro Shield. This is a glass coating, very cool stuff to minimize the amount of O&M cleaning. It's hydrophobic, oleophobic. I love seeing this new technology march into the industry and create value. And then, of course, we had Pantech Design, the creators of Adapt Energy. We know Troy and Megan and all those guys, Josh out there in Texas, really well. They've got one of the most robust smart panels. They're really the guys, from our perspective, that pioneered the concept of home energy automation. So thank you to our sponsors. We really dig your technology. It was a great series of shows. Now, moving forward, Jay, we're doing some cool stuff. First of all, we got the brand video going on. How do you feel about that? Energy Hub system, LG Chem 16H, on a home here in Makawa, my home.
Yeah, you've got one, right? That's the deal. So Solar Coaster is going to be getting their hands dirty here. We are going to be actually field testing real world both the SolarEdge and LG products on Mr. Porter's house. He's graciously donated the use of his entire roof and the wall, and his hot tub and everything else. Yeah, it's going to be really, really eye-opening for us. We talk a lot about specs. We talk a lot about we get the sheets, we get the data sheets, we read through this stuff. But to actually get it in the real world, to have some life experience with these products is going to be much more valuable to people going forward. And we hope it's something that we can continue as we go. You're going to be constantly installing and deinstalling stuff.
Yeah. And just a little highlight of what's to come with that. I had my installer here. We got Damon Glatzetter is going to be doing the installation from Jackson Electric. And we took a solid look. We opened up the gateway, which is a separate unit, a separate package. 3 inputs plus a generator input plus an EV charger output, I guess you could say. We've got the 7.6 StoreEdge HD Wave. And I just heard, of course, we heard at this show that the 10 kilowatt and the 11.4 are both going to become available in short order. They were announced at SPI 2020. That's a 10 kilowatt 11.4. Imagine stacking 3 11.4s. We've done the math a couple of times. That's pretty rad from a residential perspective there. There's a couple of cool technologies that we'll get a chance to play with. Imagine batteries go down in an outage. You fire up your generator and you're able to recharge your battery. So we'll be looking at power. We'll be looking at C ratings. We'll be looking at how smart this technology is. And we'll definitely push the envelope and play with these scenarios, Very exciting stuff. Of course, the 16H, Jay, I do want to reiterate what we learned on this last series. 7 kilowatts continuous, 11 kilowatts peak. by my math, until someone else comes out with a new battery, which could be, you know, like next week, that's dominant in the residential space. Pretty radical. Love it.
Tesla
Very
just had
excited
their
about that.
battery day. It still remains to be seen what those big cells are going to be able to do.
These guys are just hopscotching each other,
I
right?
know.
You know, it's
I
so
know.
great. It's so great. So fun. So we'll be doing lots of fun stuff with that in the space of the next month or two. And we should see that in the beginning of 2021, folks. And then also, what else we got going on? The new energy index. Jay, is there anything you'd like to say about the new energy economy index?
Oh, it's going to be the thing to watch, right? I mean, it's so we came out, what, 3 or 4 hours before presidential candidate Biden announced that the solar and renewable energy sector was the best performing market part of the market out there. So we kind of sniped them a bit, but that's okay.
It was great, man.
So building an index, or participating in building an index, I think Brian's going to bring a lot to the table with this, where he's
100%.
got the math, he's got the engine to validate these things and make it work. So we find interesting picks, and then he has to vet it, and then we add it to the basket. But it's going to be really interesting to see how that performs over time.
It is going to be interesting. And I've got a little bit of a sense of how we proceed, Jay, since we've last spoke. He mentioned a stock, and then he said it was, and I immediately kind of tried to triangulate its position, if I can say that, in the new energy economy. How far out in the content on the circles it does it fit in the overall kind of breadth of the new energy economy? It's not solar stocks right in the middle. This particular stock was out here doing some strange transition of existing fossil fuel plants to hydrogen. Had relative strength and absolute strength, that dual momentum filter that he described. And then I saw from his perspective that he wanted us to look at that stock. So right away, I'm like, well, I got to get on the horn to these guys and do a show. What an exciting thing for someone to say, hey, this stock is kicking butt. Go find out what you can about where this sits in the overall market, and then what you think about its future prospects. Whoa, how fun will that be?
But the Solar Coaster is always going to be there. Solar-coaster.com. Go and click on the link. You can get right to our YouTube channel. Anything that we're posting, we're available on podcast networks, iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, et cetera, all carry the Solar Coaster. So if you're interested in what's going on in the renewable energy economy, should I say that? Sure. I have to get used to saying that. If you're into this stuff, follow along, and we'll bring you all the best news that we possibly can.